Have you made it to the bridge yet?
Just a moment.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I think it's so cool. Well, it's sure Season of the Worthy has started, and it's all looking, well, a bit different, really. So let's go and have a little look at the Seraph Tower Public Event. Now, most of you have already got things going, so this video is going to be specifically about the Seraph Tower Public Event that's currently active on the EDZ.
Well, bugger me, you've never seen that before.
And also, we're going to go over what you can get from it, tips and hints on how to best complete it to your advantage, because currently it's quite difficult. Then we'll also have a look at the bunker upgrades that you can get via Rasputin, which will help you in this event, and also how to get a bit of extra currency and things. So, onwards! So the event itself is in Winding Cove, and it's in the location where there used to be a regular public event, you know, the Cabal one. So what you have to do is go and find all the new Warmind gubbins that you can see in the landscape there, press the start button, and off it'll go. And don't forget, there's a public event like rally banner you can see just outside it, so refuel your super, your ammo and everything by pressing that before you begin. The event has a power level of 980, so at the moment it's going to be a bit trickier for most of us as we're not quite at that level yet, and you do pile in with loads of random people as well, so you don't have to fire team, it is actually in the public domain. So once activated, you'll see that there's 3 separate towers around the central area, and you'd also see a timer start to count down from 7 minutes. Now, in order to knock up the percentage completion, you can see from those towers around the outside, there's a glowing orange ball, and that needs to travel from that tower on the outside to the tower in the center. And once that orange ball-y thing does hit the center, then that adds around about 15% or so to the completion. The tower, the smaller towers, they charge up, which you can hear audibly. They make like a boom, boom, boom noise. And then once they hit their peak, they eject out small orange orbs, which you can pick up and bung at the ball. And each time you throw one of those at the bigger ball, it gets closer and closer to the central tower until, of course, it reaches it, and then that particular tower shuts down, and then another one opens up. You can tell which one is active because it's got an active icon by it, and also you've got the, like, fiery lightning going bzz, 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 bzz in it. Anyway, so there's 2 amounts of balls that can issue forth from the tower. Now, if you can see around the base of those towers, there's a glowing yellow orangey square thing, and if there's enemies standing in that square, it'll only eject 2 orbs when it does its ejection thing. But if there's no gits standing in it, then it'll eject around about 6. So you've got to make sure it's clear that the 6 balls will eject, and then you can pick them up to bung at the orange ball to make it travel to the center. It sounds incredibly complicated, but it's not once you get going, I promise. Now then, when you're standing in and around the towers defending the area, the first thing you notice is that there's loads of people piling you. You get lots of marauders, you get lots of fallen, basically, who are trying to stop you from ejecting the largest amount of balls that you can. So crowd control is incredibly important. So you need a weapon that you can use that will destroy people quickly. So I was using my Risk Runner, and once it procced, then it just links the chain lightning and you can keep the floors clear. But in each wave, they tend to come from 2 separate directions. Each tower has its 2 separate directions. You'll be able to see they come from the same place each time, so you can keep an eye out. Not only do you get the smaller minions, but you also get one large bossy type one, so it's either a captain or a shank or maybe even a servitor or something like that. So bear that in mind, and they'll just make their way slowly towards the tower, and when they're standing in it, they're going to impede your progress. So usually I go in with the mindset of being crowd control and keeping them away, and if you do that, I do tend to find that even though you're playing with a bunch of random lovely people, if you're keeping the enemies at bay and you are ejecting more balls into the air, you've got a much bigger chance of completing the event. Talking balls, which is something I do quite often, little tip for you, you probably already know this, but it's worth keeping in mind. Because the ball travels, it's hard to chuck your orb and hit it. Frequently you'll overshoot and miss. Your reticle is your best friend here. Get your reticle on the larger ball and just bung it with R2 or whatever your control method is, and you will hit it 9 times, nay 10 times out of 10. Now if you manage to get 100% before the timer runs out, then you get 2 champions who appear, and you have to destroy those champions in the time that's available. It's around about 1 minute 40. They are either barriered up or they've got overload, so make sure you've got the correct rounds in to kill them. Once they're dead, then you can go and collect your rewards. Now then, if you do manage to kill both the champions, then you're going to get 1 small chest in the centre and then 1 larger chest. And you get different levels of rewards, obviously, depending on whether or not you complete the event. So if you fail the event, first of all, only the little chest will be available to you, and that'll give you 4 Warmind Bits and some junk. But if you do complete the event and you kill the champions at the end, you'll get 6 Warmind Bits and some bits and bobs from the small chest, and then you need an encrypted Warmind Bit to open the bigger chest, and once you open that chest you'll get some seasonal rewards, and you'll also get a mod, or at least that's what I can see so far. Now, as well as this public event, you've also got the bunker, the new Rasputin EDZ Bunker, and they're both linked, so you can do things in the EDZ Rasputin Bunker that will help this particular public event. So let's zip on over and have a look. The 3 new currencies that we've got are Warmind Bits. These are the most common ones. You can see them here with a green background. You can earn them during the public event, as you just saw, by opening chests, and you can also earn them by redeeming daily, weekly bounties, and also the repeatable bounties. The repeatable bounties are the ones on the end that cost glimmer to get, so you can buy extra ones on top of the weeklies and the dailies, and they're 3 grand each. Did I just say that? I can't remember. Now, these Warmind Bits are the most common currency, and they're used for buying the upgrades in the bunker.
Okay, so view the upgrades, we're going to have to go over to this particular area here and press triangle to get into it. It should be X, but there we go. And now you can see all the upgrades that we have available to us. Now, they've all got different things that they're applicable to, but I would say the first thing you need to do is upgrade this one here, which is a cost reduction tier. And what that does is it reduces the cost of all these upgrades by a certain amount. So I've purchased the first one here, and what that has effectively done is drop the price of all of these level rank 1s from 90 Warmind Bits to 75 Warmind Bits. So it's a saving of 25 there, which is pretty cool. And then it's also reduced the second tier ones from 180 to 150, so that saves you 30 Warmind Bits. And then the final tier, it's reduced it from 360 to 300. So this column is the first one you need to get. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to buy them all straight off. So the first thing I would do if I was you is to buy the first one here to start reducing the cost of this first tier. So the ones that are going to affect us directly in the public event is this column here, the heavy frame spawner. So that's the really cool Rasputin type robot that you can summon to help you in your scrapping. If you activate this first tier, it allows you to summon the robot in the Seraph Bunker in the EDZ. So that's not actually the public event, that's the Seraph Bunker. That event takes place every day, and you'll see it appear at reset. This one then will give you a heavy frame spawner that you can summon in the public event. So that's what we're talking about during the Seraph Tower Public Event. That means you can get one of these guys to come and help you clear the tower areas. Very handy if there aren't that many of you guardians doing room clearance, as it were. And then finally, you've got one that you can use and summon in the legendary Lost Sectors. So I think that obviously for what we need, this middle one is the one to go for. That's going to help you sort things out. But that's going to become less and less important as you get stronger and stronger. The second tier is just for collecting planetary materials. It'll do it automatically for you on a daily basis, so you can visit the bunker to pick up packages of planetary materials. These ones here, now then, these are for extra Warmind Bits, which is obviously going to come in incredibly handy for opening up all these different upgrades that we need. So this first one is for completing challenges from Zavala, Shax, the Drifter, Banshee and Hawthorne. Now the challenges are basically the weekly challenges, which means Zavala, you do 8 bounties and you'll get extra Warmind Bits and so on. The second tier is about getting the encrypted Warmind Bits back once you've spent one in the large chest at the end of the public event. So that might actually save you on encrypted Warmind Bits now and again.
Did I say encrypted Warmind Bits? Yes, I did. Well, what the bloody hell are they? Well, let me tell you. They're the second of the new currencies, and they're a rare currency, meaning that they've got a bit of a blue background. Now, you get them from the daily bounties, and they can be used to purchase the weapon frames for the new Seraph weapons. You need 3 of them to purchase the weapon frames, and you also need them to unlock the big shiny chests that you get at the end of the public event and at the end of the Lost Sector, the new legendary Lost Sector. So that's all they're used for.
And Tier 3, use Rasputin's point defense system in the EDZ Bunker at reduced cost. Then this one is very important for us during the public events. It's for the Valkyrie. So the first level will allow you to get a Valkyrie in the EDZ during the public event. So that's very handy. It gives you about 6 or 7 shots, really. There's a countdown time of when you use it. This one is for getting a Valkyrie doing the Seraph Bunker, and this one is getting one in the legendary Lost Sector. This next one is for getting extra Warmind Bits, so for clearing a bunker, if you get the Tier 1. This one is getting extra Warmind Bits from the repeatable bounties that I mentioned before, the ones that you buy for 3,000 Glimmer. You'll get more Warmind Bits for doing those. And then finally, you'll get Warmind Bits for completing strikes, crucible matches and gambit matches. So that's quite handy for the bits too. This one here now is just seasonal rewards. So any of your rank up packages, you can get additional seasonal rewards. A destination clearing Seraph Bunkers has a bonus chance of awarding seasonal gear, and also the final one is for completing Rasputin's auto rifle weapon frame, a bonus chance of getting seasonal rewards. So that's just for the rewards really. And this third and final one, like I said, I think is the most important. So you want to try and get at least Tier 1 and Tier 2 so you can reduce the cost of all these doodads. Buy these 3 before you buy the rest to save yourself some cash.
And the final thing we're having a quick look at is the last currency, which is those chipsets. You can see them down here at the bottom. You get those every time you buy an upgrade from this upgrade screen, and the amount you get depends on what tier you're buying. So if you buy a Tier 1 upgrade, you get 1 chipset, 2 for Tier 2 upgrades, and 3 chipsets for the bottom ones. Now these chipsets, their only purpose is to actually upgrade the level of your bunker, like the obelisks. Do you remember you used to shove your fractaline in and then they'd go up, you know, by level at a time? So you just go to the front screen and cash them in, and then you'll get your seasonal rewards via the engram there. Now then, there's loads more to cover about bunkers and weapons and things, but I think it's too much to put into one video. So my next video is going to be all about the bunker, about the weapons, and also the bunker event itself. So tune in onto that one, Guardians, and I'll see you very shortly.
Time Sausages Gaming Channel.